There's planes with fuselages that look like octagons that aren't supposed to look like octagons, but these guys sit here and, you know, get these circles to look like circles.
Look at that.
Get from behind
look at that. Oh, look at that. Look at that.
Yeah,
look at that.
And if you tell that to the cops, they're not going to give you any consideration.
Oh, look at that.
And if they had schnozberries, they would probably make them look like schnozberries too.
What's so spicy?
Hey, what's up everybody? So today we're going to be checking out the Blackbird A6M5. I have to say I already flew it yesterday night for approximately 10 hours and it was amazing. I have been waiting for a Zero for a long time, as I'm sure many of you guys have, so it's one of those things that I'm happy I didn't buy any of the other ones, and we won't name any names, but happy I didn't buy any of the other ones. So without further ado, we're going to check this thing out. So a lot of this is a 2024 native aircraft, so if I can get my mouse to show up. Well, there it is. So 2024 native aircraft. We're going to leave the chocks on for startup, and it is just gorgeous. I mean, everything about this aircraft so far, I've loved it. I haven't found anything wrong with it. I did notice one little possible bug. If you are in the beta sim update 3 beta, you might have some issues with the sound crackling a little bit and the guns not sounding correct. I don't know if that was a one-time issue because I got off of the beta and it fixed it. So that's the only thing I noticed, but it sounds beautiful, looks beautiful, tons of liveries. I did get this from Blackbird. I've bought a ton of their aircraft, and they did gift this one to me to check out for you guys. So just to be completely transparent, but I think we all know most of the time, I would say 99% of the time, the quality that you get from a Blackbird aircraft, you really don't have to second guess it. I mean, shit, I just got an update on their Corsair recently. So, and that's an old bird, and they're updating it and getting it, you know, getting it able to play in 2024. So we're gonna hop in the cockpit here, but you can do walk around. We're gonna go through the startup process. It's a little warm in here. I'm gonna open up this bad Jesse, and man, this thing sounds so good. We did some comparisons last night with I'm gonna charge my guns right now. We did some comparisons last night with some real life videos, and it was, I mean, side-by-side comparison, it was almost exactly perfect. So one of the things I really love about this aircraft, and I'm not sure if like every 2024 aircraft has this or not, this checklist is completely interactive. Everything works. So let's go ahead and do, oh, you know what? So we're gonna hop back out real quick and just kind of, you can check everything on here, like the rudder. And we won't take too much time doing this because we're going to go ahead and start this thing up. So that's pointing to me where this is at. Some of you guys really like the, you know, walk around stuff like that. I do too, but it's just something that today we don't have a lot of time to mess with. So the right flap looks good, condition new. So you can check, remove your belly tank. And if you want to check your tires or remove your chocks, all that kind of stuff, it's going to examine. This has failures, engine wear, everything like that. So we're going to go ahead and pretty much, oh, unlatch. I did not know you could do that. Okay, sometimes it is good to take a little deeper look at stuff like this. Oh, interesting. Oh, cool. I didn't even know you could do that, bro. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and take a look at the options here. So quick walkthrough through this. You have a handheld radio there. You can choose to hide it, or you can choose to keep it on, and this is your comms. Toggle it there as well if you want it in front of you. We're just going to keep it up. You can hide the exhaust, heat, blur the exhaust smoke, turn off the shake, which you don't want to do because it's amazing. You can turn off the exterior shake. I'm going to keep all the realisms on, and manual mixture default, I'm going to keep that on. So then starting, this just helps you with the starting because the ground crew was involved in some of the starting of this aircraft. From what I know, So I think that this is why you're able to do it here, or either that or it's so complicated that I don't think you could do it with like the click buttons or whatever in the sim. I'm not 100% sure, but we're gonna go ahead and... Okay, so we got wheel chocks in place, belly tank, emergency pump, safe handle stowed, aircraft exterior pretty clean, which I haven't gotten a chance to get one dirty yet, but we'll try to do that. Engine health good condition. Let's just reset the engine health because I was flying around last night. We have all of our ammo loaded up, and so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go to the start page, and then we're gonna get into configure for startup. So we're gonna do flight controls, check for free operation, battery switch, we're gonna turn that on, gear indicator switch on, gear indicator lights. Actually I'm not sure where the hell the gear indicator lights are. Oh, there they are. Oh wow. Okay, and then also, if you're having trouble with the cockpit light and you want to turn that up higher, I set mine to 100 to be able to see it a little easier. Okay, so electrical switches, we're going to go ahead and turn the ones that we need. We'll turn formation lights on so you can see it. Navigator, our nav lights, we'll turn the cockpit light on. Pitot heat we don't need. Gun sight we'll leave off because we have, not only do we, well, we'll turn it on to show you guys. Then that's not in use. And we don't need either of these heats. But yeah, the gun sight looks really good, so that's interesting. Flaps handle right here. So the flaps like this work similar to the... Oh, let me actually bring this over here. So the flaps on this work similar to the Aerostar 600 where it's like a hydraulic flap. So you're going to basically put these up, and that's going to be hydraulically, they're going to go all the way up, and you can stop them as they... You know, when you put it in neutral, right? So you put it back in neutral, and it's going to stop the movement of the flaps. Same thing with the down, so we'll go ahead and take a look at what that looks like outside. They are rather slow, so you're going to want to prepare your flaps. So I'm going to put it in neutral, and then that's going to stop the flaps right there. You're going to go ahead and put it back in the up position just to get those back up. And I was moving my VKB there. Okay, so gear handle. I got to hand it to Blackbird. For new simmers, and I know a lot of people that are watching this are going to be new simmers, for Blackbird to put a completely interactive checklist, maybe that's the standard for 2024 now, I don't know, but in 2020 it was like people did the first 3 things and then they gave up on it because it seems to be a pretty difficult task. But gear is down, fuel gauges, let's see, click the fuel gauges and we're good there, and we're good there. And fuel selector valves, so we want this to set, and very descriptive too, set wing tank selector valve to left and fuselage tank selector valve to off. Okay, so then we gotta go left. Altimeter setting should be at 0, so I'm gonna reset the altimeter. I use a button to do that. Okay, but yeah, so one of the other things too is if you're like, the manual is top notch, and I mean, I'm not just saying this because Blackbird gave me the aircraft. I mean, I'm pretty honest when it comes down to it. And like, you know, I was honest about like the T6 where there was a couple issues on release. This thing, there is nothing wrong with this thing. It is, I mean, this thing is immaculate. The manual will tell you exactly how to start the guns, the toggles you need, everything. And it is amazing. And in fact, I should actually open up that manual. So in case we need that, I shouldn't need it because I got everything set up yesterday, but the manual is just immaculate, and you can get it from their website. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get to starting the engine and then taking off. So we're going to go magneto switches to both. Carb hot air control lever must be set to off. Okay, that's to off. Oil cooler shutter, we want that at 0. Toggle flat or cowl flap handle, I think we want that at 100. One thing I did know is that I could not bind anything for cowl flaps, so that was interesting. That was actually probably the only thing I noticed yesterday. Okay, prop governor, which is just going to be basically your, you know, prop axis. Okay, so we want to do the mixture. So this is going to control your manual mixture, right? And then if you want to control the automatic mixture, this is where you would set the automatic mixture control. I'm going to put mine to 0. To full auto rich like it says. Okay, manual fuel pump lever. This part is really interesting. So you got lever needed to maintain at least 3, right? So you pump it and you'll notice that it goes to a little above 4, right? So we got to kind of hurry here. We got to prime this 4 times. 2, 3, 4. Okay. And it says at least 4 times. External crank. Energize. Okay, so that's where we pull out the pad. And we got to toggle the crank. We're going to energize this to 100%. Notepad start page to engage starter clutch. Okay, we're going to engage the clutch. And make sure your throttle is on. Hold ignition boost switch to on. Okay, that's down here. And you basically hold that until the engine starts running smooth. Seems to be running pretty smooth already, so I'm gonna let it go. Okay, ignition boost. Okay, generator switch. Okay, we need to turn the generator on. Look at that. Every button in this every button in this checklist works great. I'm, you know, beyond happy with it. Okay, engine warm up. So we'll do this quick. Wheel chocks are in place. We're gonna set the RPM to 1200 to warm up the engine. Okay, fuel pressure, we should be seeing a 0.3. Now, if you couldn't get it started and this went below the 0.3, then you would have to pump that manual fuel pump again. I have not had that happen yet. Oil pressure should indicate approximately 5 kilograms. So we're right there. We're going to check that cylinder head temperature, 150 degrees. And that, where was that at? Ah, right there. See? It's nice to have a checklist that works. Okay, wheel chocks check again. They're in place. So we're going to go ahead and okay, so RPM's to 1800. Okay, this is where we check the magnetos. So magneto switch. Alright, right, we're looking for about 100 to 50 RPM drop, 1350 right there. Okay, then we're gonna go to the left. Wait, we're gonna go back up to both. Let it catch back up. Then we're gonna go to left. We're at 1750. I said 1350. I meant 1750 RPMs. So that is correct. Then we're gonna go back to both. Engine RPM set to 2000. Actually, I don't need to keep clicking the RPM one because I click it so it will look at this part of it, but it looks at the throttle because that's what you got to move. Prop governor lever. Let's see. So we got to pull the prop governor lever back to 0 and make sure we see 1350 on the RPM. So we're going to pull that back to 0. Hope you guys are having a good day today, though. This is a great day for me. I love this plane. I could not stop thinking about it all night. I mean, it is so good. For $24.99, that's the price that Airplane Heaven charged for theirs. Prop governor set back to 100%. Engine throttle. So this is interesting part here. So we need to set throttle to full. Make sure manifold pressure reaches 2600. I'm going to turn this down just a little bit, just so you guys can hear me. When you're doing a video, you never really know. Okay, so what are we looking for? 2600. I'm confused. Okay, set throttle to full and verify that RPM reaches 2600 and manifold pressure reaches 15. Okay, manifold pressure was at 15. But where the hell is the... okay, 2600 will be the second go around. So that's about 2600. Okay. Alright, then we need to set engine throttle back to about 900, which is just barely cracked. Okay. Flaps handle, check functionality by raising the flaps. We already did that earlier, so we're not going to do it again. We are going to check if we have hydraulic pressure. Alright, so taxi. We're going to remove the wheel chocks. Easiest way to do that is in here. You're going to go to status, toggle the wheel chocks off, and tail wheel. We're going to make sure that that's locked. It's unlocked. Or no, we're going to make sure it's unlocked. And then cowl flap handle. We want to set that to keep the cylinder head temperature of about, I think it was 1500. Let's see, CHT. I do got to open this up, so, oh, it's at 100, so it's good. Let me see. Got to go back to the engine warm-up page to see where they want that. Okay, so that wants to be at about 150. We're a little high. We need to start moving. And then oil temperature, we want that to be at about 50. So when that starts rising, we need to open this up, and I've found about halfway through is the spot that I wanted it. Okay, so we're gonna get that set up for takeoff, and then we're gonna taxi on out of here. There is a park and brake, by the way, guys. So like if you want, I think it's for ease of use, if you have your park and brake on your wind wing or whatever you're using set, you're gonna have to make sure to turn that off. Now we're going to turn this back up, boys, and listen to the sweet sounds of a radio. Also, I noticed frames yesterday were really good. I had, in the Sim Update 3 beta, I had a little bit of like buffering and stuff like that. But once I went back to Sim Update 2, everything is perfect. So we got to go down this way because the wind. All right, so I looked up some videos last night. And you want to do a 3-point takeoff, it looks like, with no flaps. Wow. Gorgeous. Just gorgeous. We're also going to take a look at the liveries, guys. So we're going to check out all 10 liveries. This is the first one. Throttle full forward. Taking off into the wind. Gear up. Okay, so for climb, you want to set the RPM to about 2400. And you want to... This is kind of different how the manifold pressure works in this plane, but you basically need to set it to 0, right? So you want your prop at 2400, manifold pressure to 0, and then you want to keep your airspeed at about 135 miles per hour, and this is in miles per hour. You can change that if you want to Japanese writing. I do not know how to read Japanese, so I won't be changing it to Japanese writing. So we are in Japan. We're leaving Nagasaki. One of the things I love about Blackbird is they put a discrete autopilot in. It's just a bare bones autopilot. You can use your controls from your wind wing, or you can use the flight assist and heading assist, and then just use the controls from your wind wing to kind of turn that. Or you could most likely turn it, let's see, if you turn it here, yeah, you could turn it right there. So what we're going to do is we're going to check out all the different liveries. I'm going to do some magic, as they call it. And we'll be able to check these liveries out pretty quickly here. Damn, it was gorgeous. Might be one of my favorite ones here. Woo! Look at that prop. Damn. One thing about Blackbird is they got nice textures. Nice 3D modeling. Nice sounds. I mean, what more could you ask for? Nice systems. This thing is really good, man. Very unique flight model. Ooh, another nice livery. I love the writing on that. You know, it looks like so indicative of the era. Hot day in the morning. Ooh, nice. Kind of reminds me a little of a Russian livery. Seems like something you'd find over in Russia. The little lightning bolt, the star in the back. Damn, this one's nice. Damn. Dude, I love that writing on the back. I never even paid attention to that. I've seen these liveries, like, briefly, each of them, but I never paid attention to them that close. I was just flying a couple different ones last night. I probably flew all of them last night, to be honest. Alright, we got the captured American livery. I love it when they add stuff like that and don't leave it to the livery creators. Ooh, look at the way that handles in the turbulence. We got a little 11 knot quartering tailwind. Damn, dude. I'm in love with this thing, dude. I mean, I don't mean to get too excited, but I am literally in love with this plane. It's gorgeous. Damn, dude. This one might be my favorite one. I wonder what this symbol is on the side of that. If anybody knows in the comments, put that in there. By the way, if you do not subscribe to the channel, make sure that you subscribe. Gorgeous. But gorgeous. Damn, another beautiful one. Again with the paint on the tail, man. That is awesome. I had to turn the sound down a little bit, by the way, guys, because I'm not sure that you guys could actually hear me. So, wanted to turn that down just a little bit. So if you noticed it, that's what happened. Another beautiful livery. Alright, so we got one more. Got the old blue and yellow livery. They call this the Whack Arnold's. Or the McDonald's livery. Kind of does remind you of McDonald's a bit. I wonder what this one was from. I'd be interested to see, you know, if these liveries are actually historic, and to see what they're from. I would imagine they are, but I haven't looked into that yet. Alright, so we're going back to the chrome one, because I think that's my favorite right now. It is damn sexy. I hope that it's hard, because when you love the sound of the aircraft as much as I do, and you also want to make sure that everybody in the chat can, or everybody on the YouTube can video can hear your voice, that is a tough choice to make, man. That is a tough choice to make, because to be honest, I just want to hear the engine when it sounds this good. So we're gonna check out the guns now, guys. We're gonna do a little strafing. Let's find a target. We are in Japan. Let's turn on the emergency boost power and see what. Well, let's see. All right, so we're doing like, what are we doing? Like 250 knots. Let's see what we can gain from this. Gotta put my trim down a little bit. I like the trim, nice and responsive, not like way too slow or anything. Love it. I'm really D-riding this plane, man. I'm sorry, but it is amazing, bro. I mean, what do you say when a plane is this good? I honestly can't believe it's $24.99, because that's the same price you pay for the Airplane Heaven one, and there's no way. While I admit Airplane Heaven did some good planes, maybe back in the day. Recently, they've done some decent ones like the Hawk or the P-47, and this is not to pit anybody against anybody, but we got to be real. I mean, come on. So I'm kind of biased towards Echo 19, though. I think they're some of the best sounds in the world. So when Airplane Heaven started getting Echo 19 sounds, I was like, hell yeah, you know. So it made their aircraft bearable, a couple of them, but you know, they don't get them for every single aircraft, and you just can't compare, man. Like, there's a reason why I waited for this one. I never bought any other Zero. There's a reason. I think Blackbird has built themselves up enough to where simmers that are already in the sim, they know. And, you know, really, it's just people that are new to the sim that would really most likely not know. Or maybe somebody had a bad experience or something like that, you know, barring some something like that. But for the most part, man, I think Blackbird is like, you don't have to worry about the stuff that they put out. Okay, so here's the American military base, and we're just gonna strafe some stuff for fun. Obviously, these guns don't actually do anything, but we're gonna check them out. We're gonna open up the cockpit as well. I'll show you something cool with the cockpit here in a second. Totally missed it. Shit, I blew the engine. Oh, shit. I didn't do this last night at all. Okay, hold on a minute. I'm using Don't You Worry. Don't call me bird shits for no reason. Okay, we're gonna reset that, and then I gotta figure out why the hell. Gotta open up the cowl flaps. Oh, because I had it on freaking boost, bro. Oh, that's why. Okay, yeah, I was totally not paying attention. Okay, guns are still charged. We're gonna go back in for another strafe run. Sorry about that, guys. But hey, at least we got to see what it looks like when the engine blows. A little oil on the screen. Okay, I gotta slow down. This thing gets a little hard to handle at higher speeds, and I think it's true to life to the actual aircraft. They're not as responsive. Alright, that's the nose weapons. 7.7 millimeter. Now we're going to try the wings, which I think are 20 millimeter cannons. I think that's what the, if I'm correct there, that's what the German aircraft would have had, 20 millimeter cannons. Ooh, dude, that sounds great. See, last night, man, on the beta, I was on the beta, and it's like, the sound was, something was wrong with the sound, and like I said, it could have been just a bug in the sim. Wow, that sounds great. But as soon as I switched over to the regular game, it was fine, so. Alright, that's out, ammo's out, so you gotta bind, I think it's toggle variometer switch. Yeah, toggle variometer switch, and that will get you where you need to go. You know what that reminds me of? It reminds me of like drums or something. Okay, so that's gonna be basically it for this video. We're gonna just find somewhere to land, and then I want to make a couple more videos about this plane. I think it's really special. I think it is an amazing plane, but I don't want to keep you guys all day because I know a lot of times I'm just when I look at videos like this, it's like sometimes I have time and I'll watch the whole thing. Other times I'm just trying to skip to the end to find out what the verdict is. You know, should I spend my money on this plane or not? So here it is, okay? The should I spend my money on this plane factor? Yes, absolutely. I would buy this plane every day of the week. If it $24.99, let's say that somehow I lost access to it, or I don't know, let's say like I bought it and then I couldn't fly it the next day for whatever reason, I would buy it again the next day. It is so addicting. And just the way that it feels, you know, like let's check a stall. Let's see what we can do for a stall real quick, and then we're gonna go find somewhere to land. Got the throttle pulled all the way back. We're slowing down. 126 knots. I'm gonna pull the angle of attack up a little bit. Wow, look at that heat blur. You really feel like you're in the aircraft. It's really well done. Congratulations, dude. It's not often I say I'm proud of a developer, but I would say definitely proud. Ooh. We're gonna let it go fully. Alright. Let off the controls. This plane, man, if you get going too fast, it's a little uncontrollable. You gotta be careful. Flight model feels great though. There is not another flight model I have ever flown in ever that feels like this one. This one feels completely unique, and this plane is really unique. I mean, a lot of people thought it was the best plane in the world back in the day, like back in World War II. A lot of people thought that it was the bee's knees, the cat's meow, and that really just wasn't the case for a couple reasons. But, oh wow, somehow I let my gear down. That really just wasn't the case for a few reasons. One of them being that there was no self-sealing tank. So once the tank got shot, you know, if it didn't catch fire, it was losing fuel, and then here you are over the Pacific with no real way to get back to your carrier. Very light plane though, and it tends to be, what do they say? It tends to be like a little, I think it tends to be a little nose heavy on takeoff. So you end up like needing a little bit of trim. I think it actually tells you in the check, it does tell you in the checklist you need to put on like 1% or like 1.0 trim. So don't forget to do that. Oh yeah, I wanted to show you guys this. Check this out. And also, take a look. I'm gonna throw this nice convenient autopilot on real quick. And also when you press your regular heading button to turn on the heading controls, like with your wind wing or whatever you're using, it just like automatically hits the heading that you're going on, which would be also this button here, which is nice. So look at these gauges. Look at this. I mean, my graphics aren't even up super high or anything. And this just looks wonderful. Like, look at the detail on this leather, on these rings. Like, look at the I mean, that's crazy. There's planes with fuselages that look like octagons that aren't supposed to look like octagons, but these guys sit here and, you know, get these circles to look like circles. And if they had schnozberries, they would probably make them look like schnozberries too. Yeah, Japan. Gorgeous Japan. Alright, so we're going to set up for a landing here. We're going to just take a quick look at the approach and landing. Okay, so prop governor set to high. We need to get that back up. Auto rich. Sounds great. Oh my goodness. Carb air control. Carb hot air control lever must be set to off. Okay, that's off. Oil cooler shutter, 50 degrees. We need to open this up a little more. Landing gear. So we need to set the landing gear to down, which we did. Show you guys that. Okay. We probably need to put down our flaps, so I'm going to get started to do that. Cowl flap handle. Turn engine cowl flaps handle to closed position. Okay, we need to close the cowl flaps. Tail wheel. Oh, we need to lock the tail wheel. Adjust pitch. Landing altitude. Tail up. Land with the tail up to maintain good rudder control. Okay. Perfect. And I think that's all we really needed. So we're going to turn off this autopilot, get rid of that. We're a little high, but we're going to come in just fine. I'm going to have to trim forward a little bit. I think I might have trimmed up too high because I trimmed for level flight before I put on the autopilot. Oh, hell yeah, I need to trim. Holy shit, I was pushing almost all the way forward. Wow, dude, this sounds great, man. Kudos to whoever did the sound. It wasn't Echo 19, but whoever does Blackbird sounds does a good job. What can I say, man? When I love something, I love it. Coming right into about a 3-knot wind. Okay, so we want to land with the tail up. That's interesting. I didn't do that last night. Not sure of a speed, I'm just going to go by feel. Typical Microsoft Flight Sim stutter once you get to a runway. That's why you want to land tail up so you can maintain rudder control. I'm going to get rid of the flaps to get rid of the lift. They are very slow, so I might even consider getting rid of the flaps like even before touchdown, to be honest. That might just be the stole in me. Wow. Alright, we landed back here at Nagasaki. And I will say, I don't know where my character went, probably from using the dev mode. My character's like gone, but it's there if you just fly like a normal person, unlike me. I can't stay off the dev mode. But what a beautiful, beautiful plane. Go ahead and pull that mixture. Yeah, guys, so I'm going to say that 10 out of 10. I'd give it more if it was possible. Amazing plane. Can't really find anything wrong with it. So 100%. It's worth the money. It's the best A6M0 in the sim, hands down. So thank you guys for watching. If you guys are interested in group flights, we do group flights. I'm back to streaming mostly full-time now, so twitch.tv/burstixtv. Come fly with us. We fly all kinds of stuff. So come there. Follow the channel. You see when I go live. And don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube. Thanks for stopping in, boys. We'll talk to you later.